Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Force Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Noxus map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1, also known as the blue team on the western side of the map. And we'll end with Team 2, also known as the red team on the eastern side of the map. We'll take a look at Team 1's northern player first and then go southward. We have in Amethyst Purple, it is Chap. He's playing as a Seraphim for this match as a 1337 rated. To his south, we have in Royal Blue, it is the Siren of Dimitri 11. He's playing as a 1933 rated, the highest rated player on Team 1. And in the game overall. And to his south, we have in Stitch Blue, it is the Aeon of Celine Undulata. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. But Celine for short, he is an Aeon. He is a 1783 rated. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have no UEF, one Cybern, one Aeon, and then one Seraphim. So again, only missing the UEF faction on Team number 1. Taking a look at Team 2's southern side first, and then we'll go northward. We have in orange, the color orange, it is the UEF of Kinder, 5129. He is a UEF. He is a 1456 rated. To his north, we have in Chevy Crimson another UEF. We have excited with 2 X's, so he's doubly excited. He is an 1833 rated, the highest rated player on Team 2. And I will note that it is 100 points even that he is beat by his opponent, or his mirror of Dimitri 11 on Team 1 for rating. And to his north, we have the Cybern in Ruby Red. It is Eco Player 7. He is a 1715 rated. So for Team 2 side of the map, they make up for Team 1's lack in UEF with having 2 UEF players and 1 Cybern, 0 Aeon, and 0 Seraphim, which means Team 2 lacks the Aeon and the Seraphim faction. Team 1 lacks the UEF, but it does mean that all of the factions are represented in this game, so nobody is missing out on all of the fun. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at their reclaim situation. Currently sitting at... That's really not a lot of mass. 4,000 mass for 6 players, rounded up to 4,200. That's 700 roughly mass per player. I mean, it's something. It's always better than nothing, but there's really not a lot of reclaim. Most of it does reside in the ponds to the north and the south, and specifically, there's one clump for Team 2 that they're definitely going to be going for. We see an engineer from Eco Player headed to its nice little Salem Wreck and a Seraphim facility, and then, of course, in the southwest, the same thing for Team 1, but on the other side of the pond is just one Seraphim facility to grab. So there is some reclaim for the exterior players of the map to grab, but towards the middle, there's really not a lot of mass to go around and reclaim. The map kind of, sort of, maybe makes up for it in the mexes count. We'll take a look at Team 2 side of the map. There's a Trimex position here, here. There's also another one here. There's another one here. And there's another one here for sure. And there's another one here for sure. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Yeah, and then 8 down there, and then a twin mech down there, and then another trimech. There's a lot of groups of mechs to grab. Another one right there. So there's a lot of mechs to go around for our players. So at least in terms of the reclaim side, it's not great. But in terms of the mechs locations, there are a lot to go around. We do see a couple of scouting units from Team 2 just getting blapped away by Chap's Comm. Those have pretty much been dealt with. The only access point for land, at least in terms of non-hover units, is the middle of the map here. So it's kind of like Settins, where we have a causeway and 2 ponds, but instead of it being at an angle, it's more at a nice little horizontal level. We do see Navy has been started by all of the players you would think that go into Navy, so the exterior players for both teams dipping their toes into the pond in the south and in the north. In terms of comm movements, everybody from Team 1 has left their main base. Team 2, we only have one player that left the base, which is Eco Player. Team 2's remaining of both Kinder and Excited, focusing on land spam as well as getting a lot of power online to, again, fuel the economy for those frigates, subs, and probably soon to be T2 units. We do see T2, speaking of which, started for Dimitri 11 in the middle of the map, so he's going to be a little bit more defensive with those upgrades. Again, this nice little funnel that this map has nicely provided for both players is nice for those who are defending on the exterior sides. If you're in the middle here, it's just not great on either side. So you really want to hold up, essentially here. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of an avenue that have to be covered by somebody else. But for the most part, you can cover most of the avenues with just this western or northern side of this, little mountain hill. Can you climb that? You can probably actually climb that. You can probably climb this way. You can probably go down that way. But anyway, a little bit of an impediment in terms of land, but for the most part, it's pretty open for this map. In the southwest, lots of facilities getting online for Team 1. Team 2 just sticking with the 1. It is upgrading to T2, though, so that makes more sense why he's only going with 1. And for Team 2, we have his main facility over here going for T2 now. He has a backup one next order. Western side, we have a lot more spam coming online for Team 1, and the one in the back is going for the T2 headquarters upgrade. I would assume that it's going to be this one. I would have picked this one because it's a little bit further back, but that's probably the first one he built was the middle one. A couple of frigates inbound. That's not going to impede the progress of that T2 naval headquarters, especially because it's going to be done now. So there is that. T2 upgraded for Team 1's chap in the north, and we have now spam inbound, not only from Team 2's northern of Eco, but also from the middle of Excited with 2 X's. Shielding, TMD, and PD being built by Dimitri just to get a somewhat of a defensive position online. Those units are now pouring into that gap. Chap again is rooted to the spot on an upgrade. Probably not great. There is a frigate shooting at him, which is definitely not nice. I would presume that chap is not within range of that frigate, which is unfortunate, but he is about halfway done with that upgrade. But if he can just tank the damage for a little bit longer, he'll get 2,000 additional hit points, and that'll be the end of that. And I just realized right after I clicked on his comm that I didn't install that strategic rings mod. I said I would do it after the first video, and then I got distracted doing other things for my work and whatnot, and so didn't do that. So I will do that after this video. Apologies for that. I really need to get that so I don't have to keep clicking on players and then hovering over stuff to see the ring for SMDs, for artillery, that sort of thing. T2 upgrade started for Excited on his comms. So it looks like lots of T2 and T2 started for Eco. So everybody's just going for defensive upgrades in the middle of the map because why not? We do see that Dimitri has dipped his toes into Navy and then immediately goes for T2, which again does allow him to go for those Salems that can walk across the land like little abominations. But they're going to have a unique ability. The T2 Seraphim destroyers can submerge themselves like subs. So there's that. The Aeons, I don't think they get a unique thing. And Team 2's player of Kinder control case for whatever reason. I don't know if it was connection issue or not. He says GG's in the chat, so we'll see if it was connection issue if he keeps talking or pinging or whatnot. But that's unfortunate for Team 2. They lose a player, but everything from Kinder does go to Excited, and now he's up to 250 almost mass income, so almost producing the same amount of mass as Team 1 collectively. That'll definitely help out the Navy. Maybe on the southeastern side, maybe he control Cade because we have Team 1 Celine. I'm going to say Dion at some point because it's, just rolls off the cuff. Has destroyed his T2 naval headquarters, and that's maybe why he control Cade. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that'll be the end-all be-all move from Team 1 to wipe out Navy on the southern side. But we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. In the north, T2 Navy still pumping out those destroyers. T2 Navy now pumping out destroyers for Team 1, so it's just going to be a back and forth for a while. I will note that Team 1, at least for Seraphim Tech, does not have access to T2 sub-killers / hunters, so there is that. Team 2 can produce a bunch of their Barracudas if they really, really, really wanted to, but Team 1 can try to spam up T3 Tech and go for Yasows, and if you watched yesterday's game, you know how good Yasows are, especially if you're facing Atlantis. Not a fun day. Not a fun day to be in Atlantis in that game. There's a lot of dead cities of Atlantis in that game. We see more destroyers being built by Dimitri. Again, he could push in and try to just walk down this way. I don't know if he's going to do that. We do see a couple of Riptides moving in to just annoy those destroyers, but I highly doubt it. We see scouting going down for Team 1, scouting going down for Team 2. Love to see it. Just constantly getting that intelligence up and running and keeping it flowing. as long as possible. T2 Air is online going for Janus. Oh, I love to see Janus. Hardly ever see them nowadays. Well, I guess not nowadays, but it's just not as common, I think, as they should be. I will note, Team 1, nobody has T2 Air, which in the case of the naval player to the south, I feel like that's definitely a good opportunity to go for air since you don't have to deal with subs or destroyers or anything from Team 2. So you could easily just spam up a T2 to get, even if it's just, oh, I guess he's Aeon, so he doesn't get fighter bombers. He could get UEF, not UEF tech, he gets Cybern or Seraphim tech, but maybe that's why I didn't go for air. But at least go for torp bombers just in case. But if Team 2 is deploying hover tech, it's going to do nothing anyways. Speaking of hover tech, we have these Riptides. Knowing these frigates, which again, the Riptides, the hover tech units from all the factions are, decent to deal with frigates, but again, 1,000 of anything kill anything. So if Team 1 has more spammable stuff than Team 2 does, it's just not a fun time. We do see all of these nice little strikers, and I think there's a Snoop in there. No, there's some Lobos in there. And Janus going after the engineers, I presume? Or he went after the defenses. Looks like he's building... Is that flak? No, that's TMD. Maybe a missile is inbound from Team 2 here shortly. We do see more Janus inbound, more destroyers inbound from Team 1 to assist. We have some flak moving into assist. Janus is going to target the Siren Cruiser, and it will be baked in fire on water. So fire on water, that's always not a fun day. And T2 still pumping out those destroyers. No emphasis on T3 yet. It is only 14 minutes, to be fair. We have destroyers moving back and forth just to get away from the Yenzine being spammed up by Chap. Movement in the middle of the map, not really going anywhere. Team 1 doesn't have a lot of defenses online. They have some. Of course, they're augmenting that with their Cybern destroyers in the south to kind of help out in the middle. Again, it is a thin environment for that middle causeway there, so you don't need a lot of stuff to cover the breadth of that, but you do want, something. There is one Team 1 PD, sorry, T2 PD. There should be maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 more of those maybe, but we'll see if Team 1 deploys T3 land, which they haven't started yet, but I think somebody, yep, there it is. T3 land is done for Dimitri. T3, nope, not yet. For Team 1, T3 land, nope. And no T3 air. Oh, no, T3 air is almost done. And T2 air has started, not started, but is done for Corsair, for Team 2's Cybern player of Eco, going for Corsairs. There we go. I can say it, right? I promise. I just struggle half the time for whatever reason. And a couple of mass extractors going to be taken offline. Maybe engineers will actually capture them. I highly doubt it, but maybe. Oh, there's some Janus. Do they see? No, they don't see the engineers. They would have flown over them to see them. Janus looks like they're inbound for the transport? Maybe? The Janus are dead, so by the time their targets change, they're already gone. And we do see some hover inbound, and those engineers are gone. And maybe they're trying to reclaim. That'd probably be the best thing to do. And then second best thing was trying to be capturing. The only unfortunate thing for those Salems is that, again, they are pretty slow, so the units from Team 2 can get in behind them and fire. Those guns cannot rotate 360 degrees. There's kind of this cone that they can't fire, behind. It's kind of something like that. So you really just got to get in behind them and then just rip them apart. Not looking good, but they are starting to huddle together. There's Blazes also mixed in there from Team 1. More units inbound from the middle of the map from Team 2 is excited. It does allow just a couple of spam units inbound from Chap to just slowly annoy some mexes. Not a big deal, but that is 6 mass a second, 12 mass a second. There's 18 mass a second up there next to those two facilities. And Team 2, they're not pushing into the north to take out the facility. They're continuously pushing into the bay and pushing Team 1 out of the defensive position, which land could come in and help. But land is currently not there. It's currently down there. The land forces and the Salems are gone. Yes, I do not count Salems as land forces, considering they are produced from a naval facility. I will note the facility from Team 2 has not been reclaimed yet. I feel like Team 1 could easily just walk in or float in or transport in some engineers, pick it up, and then leave. But that's just me. Anybody else at T3 land yet? No, still Riptides. T3 air is done, so bombers are now a thing. And T3 air is now being spammed up by Dimitri. Again, Team 2 could try to take advantage with the lack of ASFs for Team 1 and really bombard Team 1. not necessarily into the Stone Age, but enough to get some sort of advantage in eco, because currently Team 2 is behind. They don't know they're behind, but they're kind of, maybe if they just took an overview, like, well, they wiped out these mexes from Team 1, but Team 2 has wiped out or lost these amount of mexes and these amount of mexes and these amount of mexes. A lot of mexes to be down. So they might just do a rough head count in their head. Rough head count in their head, yeah, because that English made sense. And still pumping out more and more destroyers. Essentially, it's just delaying tactics. I think at this point, I think Team 2 has got the ball rolling far enough and long enough. Unless some torp bombers being deployed, thin the numbers out for Team 1 to deal with in the Navy. I don't think that's going to work out long term for Navy in the North. So maybe win in the North for Team 2, and then obviously a win in the South for Team 1. It's happened for a while now. We'll see if Team 1 invests more tech into Navy. Never mind, I can just retract all those words, because yes, they are going to invest more tech into Navy. And since he's Aeon, it means that the access to the longest range, I think it has better range than the Tempest, the experimental battleship. Those Torrent-class missile ships have a lot of range, lots of missiles, and they're very annoying to deal with. Even if there's only one or two of them, just so many missiles at a time. You need lots of TMD, and no, the buzzkills are not going to be enough unless you build a whole bunch of them. They can be a buzzkill, but man, do they act like buzzkills as well to themselves. I think that makes sense. Cruiser missiles are just regular TMD redirect systems on board for Team 2, which means that cruiser's not really going to do anything with its missile tech. And now Team 1's going to probably lose this base. It's going to lose the facility for sure. It might actually lose this entire facility as well. And Chap's going to be out of a job here soon. That's not going to be fun for him. He's already down in eco. That 138 is producing the least amount in the game. Granted, again, Excited has 2 bases. Speaking of that second base, we do see the destroyer still pummeling this position. We have most of the mexes dead. Now they're targeting the facilities. T2 land facilities pumping out Riptides as fast as possible. We do see a couple of Yenzing to the north going after those mexes, and I thought I heard a calm death, but no calm death yet. I heard an explosion, and I'm like, huh, I missed a calm kill. But I did not. Salem targeting that mex. Again, it's just going to be a lot of back and forth, especially with Navy now that, Team 2 has grabbed this one. Team 1 has grabbed this one. We're seeing more focus for Team 1 on the south, more focus for Team 2 on the north. The ASF's not really getting built up by Team 2. I see a couple of them floating over there in the south, but there's not a lot to really be worried about. Looks like actually most of them are just Blackbird spy planes anyways, so realistically, not a lot of ASFs being produced by Team 2. They are building some now, to be fair. Is that a... No, thought that was a bomber. I got excited for 2 seconds. Nope. No bombers for Team 2. T3 Air is now online, so that chance of first bomber is kind of just blowing on by. Team 1 has lost Navy in the north. They've lost those mexes. Champ is not looking good, and eco dropping below 100. And that Salem is now back in water, making sure he's all nice and secure in his position. Again, the Barracudas looks like they did a decent job in wiping out the remaining defenses and units for Team 1. They do have torp defense on board. I couldn't remember if they did or not. Obviously, they had torpedoes. I just couldn't remember if those ones have torp defense, and they do. You do see in the south more frigates inbound, and again, it's just a battle of spam. It's T2 Hovertech versus Team 1 frigates, and again, a decent amount of destroyers and a cruiser or 2 mixed in there. Janus over top going after all of the blazes, so they're wiping out all of the spam from Team 1, while the frigates are wiping out the spam from Team 2, and honestly, it's just kind of sixes at this point. It's kind of just, well, Team 1 wiped out Team 2 spam, and Team 2 spam wiped out Team 1 spam. But the problem is that Team 1 still has all these destroyers and cruiser that can still hang out and still shoot at stuff. So honestly, it's just not going to be great because you're just dumping a bunch of mass here, which I will look at the number. Currently sitting at 20,000 on screen. That's as close as I can get it. 17 maybe. But it's still a lot of mass to grab, even at 22 minutes. In terms of reclaim overall, Team 2 is in the lead. So that clumpage of reclaim would definitely help Team 1 catch up. But they have a bigger problem. Everything gifted over to Dimitri, it looks like, and maybe Champ keeps one mechs online, a couple mechs online. He might actually control carry here shortly, just like his mirror did with the loss of a Navy and now his facilities. Again, and the difference between Team 1 and Team 2 is Team 2 has actually cleaned out the entire northern facilities for Team 1, that main base. Team 1 hasn't done that yet. They are doing that now, and I thought I missed the comm control K. I was going to say, did he go for it? But he might stick with it. Who knows? And Team 2's excited. Not underneath shield coverage, but close. And Eco player also underneath shield coverage. Team 1's player of Dimitri's in the water, as well as Celine, or Celine, depending on how you pronounce it. Maybe it's Celine, maybe it's Celine. I don't know. English is weird. It's just they're pronounced so many different ways. Gunships are inbound. They are whalers, so they're kind of a midpoint between the broadsword and the restorer, and they are going to whale on that Salem. Again, Salem has done a lot of damage. 4-star vet, that one's gone. The AA on board those Salems are really nothing to be worried about. I don't know why they're targeting, maybe they're targeting the weakest one first, I don't know. But those Salems are going to be pushed back. Landing forces have now been, well, landed, and they're now building facilities to spam up engineers as well as probably flak to invade that northern side of Team 1. Down in the southeast, we do see a Fat Boy is online. That will deal with the Salems quite nicely, and it probably will deal with the rest of those destroyers. In fact, that'll give Team 2 a little bit more breathing room. But what is Team... Okay, well, he did go for Torrents, so there is that. He also is producing more cruisers. Okay, that's probably smart. Produce more cruisers, so that way he can protect said Torrents. Again, that's the one downside with the Torrent. Not a lot of hit points on board. They do have torp defense, which is interesting, which means if you just threw maybe 1 or 2 bombers at it, it would take a while, torp bombers at it. It would take a while, maybe unless they were the T3 bombers to really chew through the hit points. But it just means that you need more than you would typically need for maybe a cruiser or something. Which again, the cruiser does not have torp defense on board. Does it have less hit points? It does have less hit points, but it's about half. It's not actually that much lower in the grand scheme of things. Is that T3 artillery? No, that's T2 mobile art. Is that T2 stationary artillery? Where was that fired from? I don't... It was Seraphim because of the ball. I could tell. Maybe it was his Thutham? I don't see it as... oh, there is a Thutham. There it is. Hanging out up there. Look at that. Nano repair started for Chap. He has T2 gun and now going for Nano, so maybe he'll swap out for Advanced Nano after he's done with Nano. Maybe he'll go for Regen Ore. One or the other would work. He could go for T3 and just get super tanky with it, but we will see what he's up to. He's just going to hang out. He might try to push in and kick out Team 2 from the northern side, but if he tries to do that, he might just get overwhelmed. If he doesn't go for Advanced Nano, he definitely will get overwhelmed, but if he goes for Advanced, he might push in, kill them all off, and then maybe get back home, but I highly doubt it. Once Team 2 sees him out there, they might just say, okay, you're dead now, bye. Fat Boy cleaning out the bay and everything else from Team 1, but those Torrents are inbound, and they're targeting not good things for Team 2. They are wiping out some PD, so it's going to be a slow erosion of defenses in the middle of the map-ish from Team 2. But again, when you launch that many missiles all at once, there's a lot of missiles to deal with, especially when you start stacking them. 2 is, a lot. When you start getting 4 or 5 or 6 or 12 is good luck. Lots of yellow dots, not a lot of TMD. That you don't have enough is essentially what that is. Salems are now invading, and I think they see Chap. They don't see him specifically. They just see a unit sitting there. And I don't know if he'll stick it out. We do see some gunships inbound. There is a cruiser or 2 nearby. I don't think the cruisers are within range, but there's not a lot of gunships here, which means it's gonna... Okay, now the reinforcements are arriving. I was gonna say, it's gonna not actually be a lot of damage from Team 1 to deal with it. Chap's still sitting in. He's dropping hit points below 2,000, 1,500, 1,200, 1,000, 800, 600, 700, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, and there it goes. Team 2's Eco players, Salems, are the ones to wipe out the comm of Champ. Again, he was pretty much out of the game. Maybe he was going to come back with the advanced nano play, but Salem said no, and he just wanted to stick with it to see if he could get it. But again, he could have retreated. He could have canceled it, moved somewhere else, and then started it again, but Again, at that point where you really don't have that much left, you're like, is it worth it? But I will note the lowest ranked players on each team have been eliminated, so it's just the highest rated and second highest rated on each team remaining. In the Southeast, man, it's just Fat Boy is doing a lot of work at keeping Team 1 back in the Southeast, but this is starting to be, I think, a bigger problem for Team 2 to deal with. Again, Team D needs to be spammed up immediately. There's a couple more, but there's a lot more. We see more of them being built here. Looks like they just got bombarded. Excited maybe if Drake can have a stray missile or two, but looks like he's regen. If he did, he's back up to full HP. And again, the Salems are now going this way. They're pushing in. They probably want this base at a bare minimum. And maybe once they wipe out the second base, main base for Team 1, that might just cause the collapse of the entirety of Team 2. Sorry, Team 1. Yeah. Cannot keep track of who is who for whatever reason. Don't know why. It should be so simple. It's the blue team versus the red team. How hard is it to remember? It is apparently very hard. For whatever reason. T2 Radar Online would love to see that be an Omni. Obviously, that is a large investment for being that close to Team 1, but, you know, it could end up paying off. Does Team 2 even have... They do, but it's very far back. Now, this is the range of it. You would think it might be in this position or something, just a little bit further westward. It would give them pretty much the rest of the map to see, but... You know, it's in the back just in case, and maybe they don't need the exact western edge of the map, but who knows? Maybe some engineers will stack up and they'll build a game ender. Who knows? You know, stuff happens. Crazy stuff happens during these games. We do see some of the Wagner's are just really trying to dodge those Salem shots, and yeah, it looks like T2 artillery is being built to the west. Some Gunthers, no Clink Hammers, which I think is like probably one of the weirdest names and funniest names for a T2 artillery. A clink hammer, it just makes a clinking noise. What is this? You're like bonking glasses together or something? It's making that clink, clink, clink noise. Do you see another torrent? And another one is online. That's two of them. They keep pumping them out. More and more engineers to increase the speed of said construction. We do see a nice little quantum gateway with, I forget what logo that is. Is that the sacrifice one? That's not the RAS one. Maybe it's the Rambo. I don't really know. But speaking of Rambo, we don't see a lot of action down the middle. Team 1 and Team 2 have just kind of just said, no, middle's fine. No worries. We're just going to focus going this way and going this way. That's it. You would think there'd be something down the middle, but apparently not. Especially with Team 2 having access to Percy's and Fat Boys. Team 1 having access to Chickens and GCs. You would think there'd be more action down the middle, but just no, there's not. Actually, maybe Team 1 doesn't have access to Seraphim Tech because of Chap, so unless he stored an engineer somewhere, Team 1 actually probably lost Seraphim Tech. That might be unfortunate. They have Harbingers here, but that's from down south from Celine. Got to keep those Harbingers moving. It's not enough for a host, but it is enough to maybe set up for a party or something. Second Fat Boy down in the southeast. Again, still kind of surprised you're not sending them in the middle. There's nothing really in the middle besides when the headquarters is there, which they could easily wipe out on their way out. Those torrents, again, they shoot at stuff that's stationary, or they can shoot at stuff that's mobile, but they're better at stuff that is not moving. And this is a lot of buzz kills. And they're still taking damage. Not a lot, but it's enough to be a little concerning. There is more TMD being built. But it's going to come a time of, does Team 1 have enough firepower and Navy to be able to just wipe that out? And we'll note, though, that Team 2 is pumping out a ton of Riptides. They're causing some very much not fun waves to occur for Team 1 to deal with. We do see that torrents like, get me out of here. A couple of destroyers back here, but that is a lot of spam. That is a very much lot of spam from Team 2. Look at them all just invade. They wiped out that... was that a cruiser? I think that was a cruiser. That's a lot of Navy for Team 2. A lot of pseudo-Navy, I should say, for Team 2. They no longer have a naval facility, but they can spam up a bunch of stuff that can be used on the water. Are they trying to get back in the Navy? No? Maybe. Who knows? They could be stacking up engineers for that. They could maybe put a facility down there, but, you know. Looks like they're going straight for the Cybern facility, and I still think the Fat Boys would be better and more well-equipped to deal with that. Now we see 4 torrents, and look at them. Look at them just getting chewed up. Look at this. Oh, shield coverage, and it's gone. Again, the fact that they have not a lot of hit points. Well, technically the Riptides also don't have a lot of hit points, but the Torrent specifically, it's not a fun day. And that Salem is just getting absolutely just burnt at the stake by those Riptides. It'd be better if there was a Janus over top burning them alive, but anyway. There's a joke in there, probably. Another Torrent is down, another Torrent is down, so it's been a nice counter by Team 2. There's still more Torrents coming online, but they've thinned the count out considerably, which means Excited might have enough time to spam up some more TMD just in case Team 1 still goes down that route. T2 Naval Headquarters for the Cybran side of things for Dimitri. No, it's not going to be taken up, but a missile or two could come in and just say bye-bye. But I don't think Team 2 is going the missile route. Fat Boys could come in and say hi, but I don't think that's happening. Dimitri's in the water. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for Torpedo or Nano. Probably should go for Nano. Even if he doesn't go for Torpedo, definitely should go for Nano. But who knows, he might go for Teleporter. So there could be that. In the north, we see counterattacks from Dimitri doing his own type of spam. Again, these ones do not go above the water. They go below the water. They have torpedoes on board. They don't have torp defense, unlike the bricks. So they're kind of like the cheaper form of the brick for water. Bricks have a lot more HP. Speaking of the brick right here, torpedoes, torp defense, again, transportable and amphibious. So again, they can go in the water, pop out, they can do their thing, and they act like little mini megawatts. Little mini megawatts. Very annoying megawatts. They are annoying in the water. We do see some whalers starting to whale on top of the Fat Boy shielding. Fielding will fall. ASFs probably have to engage at this point, right? Here comes the ASF fight. Again, the whalers have a little bit of AA on board, better than the broadswords, of course. And there is the fight between Team 1 and Team 2 in terms of air. It's looking like well, it's a little bit AA for Team 2, to be fair. Some T3 AA, so there is that. Looks like maybe Team 2 had a little bit better end of the deal, but one Fat Boy is dead. So I think Team 1 will take the trade of a dead experimental for, maybe a squadron of gunships. I think that's probably worth it. And the fighting of ASS between the two teams. Team 2's air grid. Ooh, you have a nuke and it's half loaded. Does Team 1 know about it? No. Well, that's going to be a surprise. Does Team 1 have any sort of SMD on? No. And no. No SMD online for Team 1 in any department. 34 minutes almost on the clock. That's a little concerning. And they're not going to have enough time to get one. Unless there's one hidden somewhere that I just don't see, which has happened the first time. Or not first time, a lot of times. No. And if I was excited, guess what base I would target first? I highlighted it. I feel like it's kind of obvious. T2PD being spammed up. Excited is probably going to be targeted from this. Excited, get out of range. His shield is down. The GC is going to lose track of him a little bit just because he went out of range. He's going to stop walking again. You have to keep walking. You can just set target priority for ACU. Oh, he's not dead. Oh, he's so... Yeah, that is so close. Target priority, says Chap. Yep, that was definitely unfortunate. Too hard to use, says Chap. I mean, it can be hard to use from time to time, but anyway, he's less than 100 hit points. Panda Asthma. Ooh, that was T3 Nano. Something's going to be built on board that common here shortly. Shield? Something. That is very too close to call. If he did not have the T2 engineering suite, he would have 100% died. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Just straight up would have died. Talking about the game overall in terms of map control. Oh, we'll see where the nuke goes, but Team 1 at 2 players left, losing Chap. After Team 2 lost Kinder to a control case, so it's 2v2 in that game. We have Eco favoring Team 2. I'd say not by much, unless this ticks over the 1.1 here shortly. And Dimitri says some comment about the nuke. Probably going for his base. There's a GC to the north wiping out the land invasion. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it as we watch the glory of the UEF nuke wiping out a very not great situation for Team 1. Which, I will be fair though, this survived. So, if a second nuke would have come in, probably not going to be landing there. However, Team 1 still has a definitely the target possible opportunity from Team 2 to go after that. SMD was built there. It might get grabbed by the SMD if it's loaded in time. It's going to be close. Again, that's why I need that strategic ring mod, so I don't have to keep clicking on people's names and then clicking on stuff or hovering over stuff. That GC is just going to get ripped apart. I don't know why it went right in the middle of the everything, but it did. Well, that one's dead. Oh, nope, not dead yet. And now it's dead. No idea why it just stood right there, but okay. Maybe he was distracted doing other things. Brick is dead, facility is dead, but I mean, it's going to happen. Crash damage is a thing. Not as bad as it used to be, especially for the air units. I remember back in the day where you could really rip stuff apart with just a crash damage from not the bug, but the donut and the Awasan bomber did tons of damage. They still do, but it's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be a lot, very, very, very a lot of damage relative to the cost of the everything. SACU online from Team 1. Is it the AoE one? I think it's the AoE one. It is a combatant preset. It's not the Rambo one, but it's I think it has the AoE EMP maybe? That fat boy is being hunted down by that fat boy though, and I don't think that's going to be fun for that SACU here shortly. More missiles from Team 1. Can't stop, won't stop with the torrents. And then another airfight now in the southeast. Tons of gunships have been built up by Team 2, and that's going to be a little unfortunate as the ASFs chase down the ASFs from Team 2, and that is almost all the gunships dead from Team 2. So a little bit of revenge for the fallen comrades. There is a megalith online for Team 2 in the middle of the map. Team 1 doesn't really have a lot of defenses here. Most of the defenses in land are right about there. That's not their rough coverage, but that's where they're really building them. SMD, of course, is being heavily assisted, and now we have possible artillery location, maybe even possible nuke location, but at least it's not the right shape for a nuke. You need it to be, like, twisted a little bit, if that makes sense. Instead of it being kind of in a plus shape, it's kind of in, like, a weird... You take a diamond or, you know, whatever four-sided object, and you kind of just twist it a little bit with, like, the sides. It kind of makes this... It makes a cool shape, but it's just not a straight-up, you know... Very bad drawing, but you get my point. GC down in the southeast, distracting a fat boy. Battleship online for Team 1, starting to push in against the land defenses for Team 2. They have a couple of wall sections with some PD being built in them, but that's not gonna go well. Go artillery, says Dimitri. And artillery might work. Team 2 is going for their own artillery soon, so it might be an arty war at third... Well, not right now, but soon to be. And Torrent, missile ships raining in on the Megalith's position. Definitely got to move that thing. Taking unnecessary damage. Again, the frustration, the exhaustion, all that stuff is definitely set in at this point. Especially for both Excited and Dimitri. Microing a base and a half for Dimitri and then 2 bases for Excited. There's a lot of stuff down here. He's currently sitting at 600 mass income. Team 1, Selen sitting at 600 mass income. Team 2's at 1.1. Team 1's at 940, 950-ish. Mikey Wood pushing in, reclaiming that GC. They might actually grab all of it. Ooh, it's going to be close. But there's still about 800 mass left, which again, they got a huge percent of it. They probably got like 93, 94, maybe even 95% done with it. Hey, look at that. Naval facility back online, but I don't think Team 1 likes that. Yeah, they know about it. Yeah, I don't think that they're probably happy about the fact that they're back in Navy. And all the T2 naval, headquarters for the Cybran side of things for Dimitri got wiped out. But again, he's probably just perfectly fine with all of the everything happening. This is the range on the Selens. It's very far. They probably won't reach the nuke, but it probably will get to at least the SMD. So if Team 1 does go for a nuke, that SMD might not live long. Just food for thought. Second note, there is another nuke down there. So 2 nukes. 2 nukes. Double nukage. Maybe triple nuke. We'll see. We shall see. In the north, suits there. SMD is loaded. Team 1's SMD here. It is loaded. Again, Team 2 could double launch. There's another SMD down here and their own artillery piece. I guess he's going for artillery now. So 40 minutes on the clock. And did they go for... Nope. You building another? I love the backup SMD. Needs shielding. Needs some salt, needs some shielding, stuff like that. But he is getting a backup, which I love to see. Another cruiser's dead. Looks like they dealt with the Salems that were annoying them more. PGen says Selen talking to Champ, saying, hey, don't run out of power. He's at 5,000, so it's only 2 T3 PGens. Yeah, it definitely needs, at least 4 to 5, amount of T3 PGens, so about 10,000 plus power, just kind of sitting there hanging out. And more and more and more and more. There's so many of them. Nuke. Okay, that's definitely a good nuke target. Wiping out something in the pond, especially all the missile ships. That's just so much firepower rating. And are they targeting the Fat Boys? Yes, they are, and they are hitting the shielding. That is one benefit, though, of the fact that you're shooting at a shielded target, is that you would hope that some of the missiles reach their target. Oh, that one's dead. That one's probably dead. That one's not dead. Kaboom! Not as good as the first nuke, but it's still a decent nuke. Another nuke inbound from Team 2. It's heading westward. That will hit this SMB here, unless it falls short. Which it won't. Looks like it was going, I think, for that SMD. I think that was the target. And Got Mass is excited. Maybe he's excited about it. Who knows? Raston for Eco Players has a little bit more mass to play with. Air grid being re-expanded upon. Still not building anything here yet. And no, he doesn't have any mass. Artillery is almost in the green, so almost at 75%. Team 2's artillery is over 75%. And look at that. Already a shield there. And already prepping another one. Love to see it. Love, 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 love it. GC trying to hide from stingers and broadswords. And I didn't notice that it inverts the laser in the water. I guess because it's a kind of a whitish blue laser, so that would make sense. But I didn't realize it was a active thing. I thought they just did it based on the map. But didn't know that. Things you know. Or things you find out about. Again, torrents are still wreaking havoc on Team 2's side of the map. Again, there's tons of Team D still being built. We have AA being targeted now. Again, anything and everything going to be wiped out is what the goal of those torrents are. Just try to wipe out all of the AA. Maybe they'll allow bombers and gunships to come in and say hi. We'll see what Team 1's major plan is. Again, they do have the artillery that's almost done, which Team 2's artillery should actually now be done at this point. It is. Don't know what they're targeting, but again, no shielding. Oh, look, no, there's a shield there now. No shielding. More air grid, no shield. They have shielding for the artillery pieces and the suits there up here to the north, but nothing for the PGens or anything. Do they know about it? No, they don't. Not a lot of scouting from Team 1. How's Team 2 scouting going? They don't know what's there, but they know stuff is there. They might just target this just out of principle, but they don't know where any of the SMDs are, to be honest. Looks like they're targeting Selen's base. T3 land headquarters would definitely be rough to lose, but oh, he got rid of that. Oh, the SMD is here. Okay, that's not a terrible place to put it. It gets a little bit of adjacency. Yep, definitely a smart move. Get rid of that. Put a shield there immediately. And then he's putting a shield there. Needs more. Get rid of this shield. Move that to here. You get the full coverage of PGens. Don't know why he put the shield there anyways, but he just maybe wanted to get something online soon. We see another emphasis from Team 2 going for Riptides. And it's back and forth with this. We just have Torrents pulling back. We have Riptides pushing in. And we have GC just on the shoreline hanging out. Heavily damaged, so not really that useful. Nope, still no T2. Which is spamming out Team 1 frigates. So, it's something. Just again, it's all spam for Excited. Just keep Team 1 at bay. Focus on the nuke. Focus on the long-range game. The artillery. Second artillery is online for Team 2 in the north. It is a disruptor. And another megalith. I thought it was a Scathless for 2 seconds. It was not. 44 minutes on the clock. Team 1's at 1.5. They scaled their eco quite nicely, and now they're ahead. In terms of the leaders of eco, it is Excited. Not Excited. It is Dimitri at 840. And then, Excited's at 8 something as well. So it's about the same. Maybe power outage. Maybe. Maybe. It's the only thing I can think of. Or maybe Eco Player had that. No, it's probably Excited because he dropped and then he came back up. And then it dropped again. No idea what's going on with the consumption of mass and power and whatnot for Team 1. Second artillery immediately started. More shielding being built. It is a T2 variety. I do like the mix of T2 and T3. That way, you get a little bit of, it's not, all reaching coverage. It's kind of like a little bit of, it's like onions. You're just layering them. Now you need a parashield / asylum. You need a bubble shield commander and other things like that. SSU down in the middle looks like sniped by Corsairs and Megalith. So not fun for Team 1 that way. Looks like the artillery from Team 2's Eco player is targeted, and the second one is under construction. Shield is down. Shield is being upgraded as we speak, and that's going to be a nice placement. Ooh, that's a direct impact. Ooh. Shield will pop back online soon, but that is gonna hurt for Team 2. That's half of their artillery down. We have a couple of frigates over here, annoying other stuff from Team 1, but that's not really a big issue for them. We do see... what is going on over here? No idea. I have no idea what's going on with that artillery piece. Looks like the ooh, that SMD got taken out. That is unfortunate. SMD is being loaded. It is loaded, but they lost one of them, so they lost their backup. Well, they lost their main one, but they have their backup. That's why you have a backup. Nuke is inbound. It looks like it's going for the... yep, it's going for that. We have Riptides inbound to just annoy. Maybe they'll take out something on the way, maybe. But we do have counter blazes online. T2PD being built. Shield is down for the most part. We have more PD coming in from the north. Let's see if that nuke gets caught, though. Oh, that SMD is probably not loaded. It is actually loaded. It's loaded twice, so never mind. It's going to get shot down. There it goes. Team 2 is going to see it with the Riptides. And actually, at this point, might have just needed to invest in Team 1 PD. Oh, it's not the EMP laser, an EMP gun. It's just the AoE gun from the SACU. And SMD needs to be protected at all costs. P-Gen is a nice target to blow up everything. Team 1 PD is being built now. And... oh, that SMD is not going to look good. P-Gen's got to get reclaimed. Oh, it gets reclaimed. They're not targeting the SMD. Oh, that's not great. Oh. Oh, I think it gets killed off by the SACU, and it got killed off by the artillery anyways. So that's not good for Team 1. Their artillery piece is exposed, at least in the nuke department, not in the shield department. That means they need to target the nuke that is now dead, so never mind. There is still that nuke down here that's gone. All the nukes are dead, so never mind. They don't have to worry about it now. But they did know about it at some point. Yep, they found that one. They found that one. They don't know about the artillery locations yet. But second one is being built now. It's a little bit under 50%. And they got 47 minutes on the clock. Artillery piece for Team 1 still holding in there. Now it's being shot at by a Stinger. Just annoying Team 1 at this point. Nothing too crazy. One, not even a T3. Just get one flak cannon. Even a Team 1 AA will be more than enough. And as much as you want to protect it, you do want to make sure it has full regen capabilities for its artillery shells or plasma. You need those P-gens next to it. So position the shielding. Put more shield down and then replace the old ones essentially. But it's only one artillery. That's, the 4 main shielding that you normally build around it in terms of, the X form. More than enough for one artillery piece like this. They keep going. They build the 4 there. They are building 2 more back there, and they have another one here. I do like the extras. Still would like them to build those here. So, but that's just my preference. Protect the things that cost a lot of mass or money. Gunships are inbound. Now that's not good for Team 1. Do they even know about it? They should know about it. It should be within Omni range. It's on visual, but they lost sight of it now. And there has been AA built, to be fair, and flak, so it's actually a nice mix of both. The shielding probably will not hold, though, especially with the artillery bombarding. They're targeting P-gens. That's the smart way to do it. Do the stuff that does the most AoE damage. Shielding goes down again assisted by the gunships. And there's not really a lot of engineers, so that will blow up. Oh, it got reclaimed. Wow, that was an engineer in range? Oh, there's one right there. Look at that. And shielding is down, though. Ooh, all shielding emplacements have lost power. T3 P-gen, decently damaged. Oh, it hits right there. Ooh, shielding pops back online. Shields some of it, not all. Just finished. Yeah, I was going to say finished No, see, that's why you finish the T2 and then you build the T3. But to the north, we have SMD, which is dead. There's no way that's surviving much time. 49 minutes on the clock and climbing. Most of the Riptide, most of the Torrents have been dealt with. Team 2 no longer has that issue to deal with. They have another artillery piece and another one, and they have another one and soon to be another one. So they have almost 4 artillery pieces online for Team 2. Team 1 has none. They have a bug being built. I don't think that's going to be enough. Team 1 has 1 artillery piece, and it's almost dead. It's just not going well for... Actually, Dimitri's over here hanging out. And yeah, it's... No. When it was 1 artillery piece, it was fine. When it's 3 or 4 of them, it's not great. No good at these, says Selene. He did it. I think he did a pretty good job considering. You know, he did. The Torrents were really annoying Team 2, so that was good. And he got Navy very quickly. So there was that SSU. Dimitri's going to go in the... He's just going to hang out. He might just hang out. But 50 minutes on the clock and climbing. And we have some attempt to airlock Team 2. Don't know what they were... Oh, the bug. The bug is what they were doing. Bug is inbound. Going after the disruptors. And P-Gens are being shot at. They are... Well, that one's dead. The third artillery piece was being built. Is it targeting AA? Is it targeting P-Gens? The second artillery is dead for Eco, and Dimitri might get Eco players calm, maybe, if he's lucky. Shielding will go down here shortly. He's building... Oh, he's not building artillery. He's building a Monkey Lord. And that's not looking good. Bug is down. Does it crash on the SMD? No. But he did take a lot of damage there. So... And the bug actually did do work. So there's that. 2 of the 4 artillery pieces are now offline, but Team 1 still doesn't have any artillery pieces now online now, and the bugs are helping, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Ooh, that's a nice artillery shell from Team 2. That one hit on that P-Gen. Ouch. Team 1, and they still have not rough control of Navy, but T2 Navy being built, going for Team 3. Please build the Neptune. That will definitely help clean out the rest of Team 1, at least in Navy-wise. We see Bouncers going after the bug. The Soul Ripper's not going to have a fun day with that. And do they still not know? They have to know it. They flew over it. Yeah, they definitely know where it is. I was going to say they definitely don't not know. Definitely don't not know. They definitely know. Yeah, there we go. I just won't use double negatives. Ooh, power grid, air grid, not looking good. Dimitri has your power. Oof. Ooh, there goes the T3 air quarters. That's not good. And that's a dead air grid again. So Team 1 has lost a second air grid. Artillery says eco player. And it's being rebuilt. It's in the yellow. Needs more shielding for sure. And Team 1 actually just recalls at this point. Yeah, I don't know if it would have been enough. Because soon the artillery probably would have targeted this. I mean, it's almost half done, so maybe 1 would have been enough, but I mean, the bug was going after Fat Boys, the GC was already dead. I mean, at this point for Team 2, they could just hang out and just artillery Team 1 to death. New Nuke was being built. Anything being rebuilt for Team Artillery going to be rebuilt again. He was building both at the same time because why not? And I don't think Team 1 had a plan for the late game. They did very well early, mid, and leading into the late game, but the end game, late-ish end game to, end game, late-ish game to end game phase, they didn't really have a plan. They didn't go for nukes. They went for artillery after Team 2 did, pretty much. Well, maybe at the same time, but you get my point. And no game in or nothing. So it's just, I mean, maybe if they went for something longer term sooner, maybe it would have been different, but that 1 nuke from Team 2 is excited, wiped out that air grid. That was a huge win. Second one wasn't as good. And he eventually wiped out the artillery down there. So, the nuke wasn't the best, but it definitely was good. And with the artillery and the defense on the southern side, he got a second base, which definitely helped out. He lost Navy. He kind of actually got Navy back a little bit at the end there. Did you build? You were building them. Oh, you did build them. Look at that. Ha ha. You built the Neptune. Ha ha. That was the only one built this game. That's a little sad, but that's okay. But anyway, I do think Excited gets MVP. I mean, he did help that Kinder essentially gave him a second base that really able to jumpstart his eco. But I think for the most part, I think he gets MVP. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or not. Thank you so much for watching the very end of the video as always, and I will see all of you in the next one.